Welcome to the New Recommender, the completely unofficial continuation of the Recommender podcast, hosted by me, Ioan Morris.
And me, Geoff Roberts.
Well, I don't know about you, Geoff, but since the last episode, wow, it has all kicked off. I was driving past the Star Audio studio end of last week, and for the first time in months, the gates were open. So I thought, I'll see what's going on. And I parked up outside that nice coffee place we used to go to.
Cobb Coffee,
yeah. And then I sort of wandered around the little courtyard outside the studio for a minute. Then I remembered there's that gap between the studio and the old stone wall that's next to it. So I squeezed myself down that little space, up to the window of the kitchenette, if you remember, and nothing's been touched. There's still mugs on the drying rack. And I could even see Diane's special tea next to the kettle.
Oh, yeah, the vanilla chai.
Yeah, that's it. But the kitchen door was open. I could just about see through to the office space. And I could even see the desks where we used to sit. And you will never guess what I saw on the back of my chair.
Was it your jacket?
Nope. The opposite. It was nothing. There was nothing there. And I know that's where I left it. So clearly someone has moved it, or more likely, I reckon, taken it. I mean, obviously I took a photo as proof. And then I hear this bloke shouting at me. So I started filming on my phone. And I'm going to play that for you now. I've every right to be here, mate. No, I used to work here. Are you supposed to be smoking? I don't think it matters, it's on your break, mate. It doesn't matter. It's company premises, you're not allowed to smoke. No, don't grab me. No. I'm coming out. Don't pull. Dislocated my shoulder. I dislocated my shoulder. Look, I can't lift my arm. Call an ambulance. I think that speaks for itself.
Have you dislocated your shoulder?
No, but it's still pretty sore.
So what can you do with the video now?
I'm going to collate everything together as like a package of evidence, and then I guess I'll assess my options.
Right.
Yeah, what a week, eh?
Yeah. I've got to be honest, it doesn't seem like calling out that troll last week worked.
You mean the vertical hijack guy?
Yeah, he's been stirring stuff up for me at work. I can't prove it's him because it's all just anonymous messages, but someone's been contacting my bosses, making complaints and accusations.
Bloody hell.
Yeah, it's just horrible and stressful. And now they've told me that they're considering my position at the company.
Have you told them about the trolling?
Yeah, but the issue is that apparently I've been on a trial period for the first 6 weeks of the job, which was not my understanding when I took the role, but can't really do anything about it now.
Okay.
Shall we move on to the listener choices?
Yeah, you know what? I'm looking at the clock and I think it's probably a little bit too late to start on that now. Sorry, everyone. We had an incredible response to our request for your choices, but we will absolutely do that next week. So until then, I've been Ioan.
I've been Geoff.
And this has been the New Recommender. The New Recommender is a high-quality content production, executive produced by Ioan Morris and Geoff Roberts. Sound editing by Dave PA. Our theme is 2-for-1 Cocktails by Ramen Shackle. Welcome to the New Recommender, the completely unofficial continuation of the Recommender podcast, hosted by me, Ioan Morris. And let me just start by letting everyone know that on the back of last week, I filed a police report about what I now know to be a stolen object. And I'm talking, of course, about my jacket, which was not at the Star Audio studio where I left it several months ago and has clearly been taken by someone. So what I thought I'd do is take our listeners through the process of reporting a crime. And you can hear what I went through, and I don't know, it might be helpful for you in the future. So when you first go to the website, step 1, they're going to ask you, is a crime happening right now? And is the suspect still at the scene, or is anyone seriously injured or in immediate danger? I put no, of course. Step 2, has the suspect left something at the scene, such as clothing, blood, any other bodily fluids, discarded items, obvious fingerprints or footprints? No, because if they had left clothing, it would be a different matter. Step 3, did this happen on a train or at a train station? No. Step 4, where did the crime happen? A specific address was the option I chose. Step 5, I put in the postcode of the studio. Step 6, was anything stolen? Yes, it bloody was. Step 7, was any property damaged? No. Step 8, was anyone threatened, verbally abused or assaulted? No, but I would like the opportunity. And now you can start the online form properly, and here's what I wrote. To whom it may concern, I put it to you that someone, namely a thief, did steal my jacket with malice aforethought and utter lack of regard for the distress it would cause the victim, i.e. me. Attached is a photo of the back of my chair inside Starham Audio Studio, taken last week. This was the jacket's last known location, and...
Ioan, enough. Oh, for goodness sake, mate, we've already delayed the listening choices once. Now we're just wasting time with all this crap.
It's not crap, Geoff. People are interested in this.
Well, we said we were doing listening choices.
Fine, you're right. That's what people are here for. Here are the top 5 listener choices. 5, episode 57, Sue Bark on the Dartmouth Steam Railway. You already talked about that one. 4, episode 168, Monty Don and the whatever knee pads. You already talked about that one too. 3, episode 126, Brian May and his hand-built Galilean telescope. 2, episode 163, Judi Dench, lobster ravioli at Cafazilli in Bletchingley. 1, episode 250, various guests who chose the podcast itself, the recommender, which is nice, but it's probably just recency bias. And there we go. None of mine got in the top 5. Happy now?
No, I'm not happy.
Why not?
Well, I didn't want to tell you this now, but I lost my job. I don't know if there's anything to do with the trial or what, but they didn't renew my contract past the trial period.
Oh, mate.
Yeah.
Have you had the chance to look for anything else yet?
I put the feelers out, but nothing back yet.
I'm sure it'll come. It's just, you got to give it time, give it a few days. But, listen, if you want to occupy yourself with the new recommender, go ahead.
Actually, you know what? I've been thinking about something that came up in your interview with John a few weeks ago. When he said that the format wouldn't be an issue.
Right.
So why aren't we just starting the show again properly?
How do you mean?
I mean, like the old show format. I know there are other legal concerns and we'll probably struggle with celebrity guests and that kind of thing, but it was like that the first time around. So why don't we just move forward like we said we were going to do 8 weeks ago?
Yeah.
And we can start next week.
Yeah, thinking about it, yeah, that's a good idea. That's exciting, actually. I feel excited. Okay, let's do that.
Great.
Well, there you have it, listeners. Next week, I suppose, will be the first true episode of this podcast, and a lot is going through my head right now, and I can't wait. So, I've been Ioan.
I've been Geoff.
And this has and will be the new recommender. The New Recommender is a high-quality content production, executive produced by Ioan Morris and Geoff Roberts. Sound editing by Dave PA. Our theme is 2-for-1 Cocktails by Ramen Shackle. Welcome to the New Recommender, the completely unofficial continuation of the Recommender podcast, hosted by me, Ioan Morris.
And me, Geoff Roberts.
Firstly, let me just get this out of the way quickly. It's bad news on the jacket front. The police have told me it's not worth their time or resources to investigate the theft. I'm obviously going to have to take matters into my own hands, but that's not the reason we're here today, because as you'll know from last week's episode, this week we're presenting what we consider the first true episode of the New Recommender, with a return to the format that made the podcast what it is. And I can't think of a better guest to kick off this new era than our very own Geoff Roberts. Geoff, it's fair to say that you were incredibly keen to share your recommendation this week, and I can't wait to hear about it.
Absolutely. And if I could just say thanks to everyone who's reached out to commiserate about me losing my job. To know the support's there from our community, it's really something. I'm pleased to say in the last few days, my luck has changed for the better. And it looks like I'm going to have some money coming in soon. Not a done deal, so I don't want to go into too much detail, but yeah, things are looking up.
That is brilliant news, Geoff.
Thanks. Well, yeah, I'm ready when you are.
Yeah, I'm ready.
Okay, then my recommendation today is a piece of kitchen equipment which has quickly become invaluable to my food preparation. It is the T Plus Pro Cook electric handheld portable pasta and noodle maker. My wife and I have recently become enamoured with the food cultures of Italy and Japan, and this pasta and noodle maker is something that straddles both those culinary worlds. We're making fresh and delicious pasta and noodle dishes on a regular basis, and our gut health has never been better. As with everything in the T Plus Pro Cook line, this is designed in the UK and manufactured in Germany, using the highest quality materials and components, and includes a 10-year guarantee. It's comfortable, convenient, and I've noticed a complete absence of grip fatigue, even across multi-hour sessions in preparation for dinner parties. You'll be relieved to hear that the noodle bucket itself is a separate structure, easily removed for cleaning, with a long stem angle brush also included for those hard-to-reach places. Plus, there are 4 different mould toppers for a variety of noodle shapes and thicknesses, and additional mould toppers can be purchased via the T Plus Pro Cook website. Because it's portable, I've taken this thing on camping trips and lots of other trips too. It really is that versatile. Lastly, I know it's only August, but I think this would make a wonderful Christmas gift, because whether you're cooking for one, for the family, or for a gathering, the T Plus Pro Cook electric handheld portable pasta and noodle maker will cover all bases.
Well, that's very interesting stuff, Geoff. I knew you were into your tray bakes, of course, but this passion for Italian and Japanese cooking, that's new to me.
Yeah, no, I love it.
Yeah, I think it's just that I haven't heard you mention it before, and definitely not that you've got this specialist bit of equipment.
Yeah, well, there's some household items you use so frequently, it's just an everyday thing, you know, like toothpaste or a kettle or something.
Yeah, I suppose so.
Oh, and by the way, this is unrelated, but I just wanted to check that you come into our bank holiday party.
I wasn't aware that I was invited.
Did you not get the invitation?
No.
Oh, sorry, mate. He must have got lost in the whole business of starting the job and moving and all that. But obviously you're invited. Can't have a party without the co-host. So can I put you down as attending?
Yeah, of course. I'd love to come.
Great, done.
Will there be pasta?
I think you know the answer to that one.
Yes. Well, I don't think we have a guest lined up for next week yet. But Geoff, you being so enthusiastic about your recommendation, that's kind of inspiring to me. So we'll see what happens. But whatever the choice and whoever the guest, we will be back next week. So for now, I've been Ioan.
I've been Geoff.
And this has been The New Recommender. The New Recommender is a high-quality content production, executive produced by Ioan Morris and Geoff Roberts. Sound editing by Dave PA. Our theme is 2-for-1 Cocktails by Ramen Shackle. Welcome to The New Recommender, the completely unofficial continuation of the Recommender podcast, hosted by me, Ioan Morris.
And me, Geoff Roberts.
We're back with a new format, same as the old format, and I said last week that we didn't have a guest lined up, but we've ended up with 2, me and Geoff. It was originally just going to be my recommendation this week, but Geoff's got another one, and again, was very keen to share it, weren't you, Geoff? So I've cut down my choice a little bit, and we're going to find a way to fit both in.
Yes, indeed. Do you want to go first?
Yeah, I'm happy to do that. So my choice this week, my recommendation is for my favourite piece of clothing. It's a canvas jacket made by John Rocha, that unfortunately is not currently in my possession. What was that?
Nothing.
Thought you said something. Anyway, like I was saying, it's a John Rocha canvas jacket with a bit of a military aesthetic. It's 100% cotton. It was designed for Debenhams, and it was originally a shade of khaki, but I dyed it black and customized it with a distinctive yellow patch above the left breast pocket that came from the Boscastle Museum of Witchcraft and Magic, which is a fantastic place and I highly recommend visiting. The canvas material means that it's light enough for summer evenings and also rugged enough to wear over a hoodie or a jumper in winter. And it's one of those items of clothing that people always comment on. They always give compliments. I'm convinced, in fact, that it's got me a few bits of freelance work because that patch that I mentioned, I swear it started the most random conversations at networking events that have then got me a bunch of work down the line. So in a way, it's been as beneficial to my career as any computer or bit of tech or whatever. And I miss it. Over to you, Geoff.
I hope you find it, mate. My choice this week is another piece of kitchen equipment. It's the T Plus Pro Cook stainless steel falafel scoop, designed in the UK and manufactured in Germany. This is a top-of-the-line premium product with fully demountable components, as well as being dishwasher safe. And last year, it received the Cookware Magazine Product Design Award in the manual tools category. My one is extra large, and as well as falafel, I like to use it for meatballs, boulettes, croquettes, and various other patties. I really think that for consistency and uniformity, you won't find better. I've tried a few others in my time. They just don't feel good in the hand. This one is weighty. You can feel the quality, and the ergonomic handle means that your scooping hand is never going to cramp. I can assure you that this unit will not jam. The action is smooth, but still retains a pleasing amount of resistance. It really is a joy to use. Because it's a professional piece of kit, there is a hefty price tag attached, but this is something that will last several lifetimes. And if you're a big fan of falafel, like we are in my house, I think that this is a must-have. Buy this and you'll never have to buy another. So once again, it's the T Plus Pro Cook stainless steel falafel scoop.
Thanks, Geoff. You're quite a fan of this T Plus Pro Cook stuff, then.
Yeah, it's the best.
I've got to say, a bit like last week, the falafel thing is news to me because I remember us doing a live episode of the podcast at that festival. And when I went to get a falafel wrap from one of the vans, you said you hated it. You said it tasted like mud.
I'm going to say I've become a convert. You know what, actually, I was going to make some for the party this weekend, so you'll be able to try it out for yourself and you can rate my recipe.
Okay, yeah, I'm up for that. Well, listeners, we do have a guest lined up for next week. This is a personal friend of ours, so we're calling in a favour, really. But I'm delighted to say that Ainsley Harriott will be returning to the podcast, and we cannot wait.
Oh, yes, the man is a national treasure.
Yes. So enjoy your bank holiday weekend. I know that we're going to. It's all go at Casa Geoff. So for now, I've been Ioan.
I've been Geoff.
And this has been The New Recommender. The New Recommender is a high-quality content production, executive produced by Ioan Morris and Geoff Roberts. Sound editing by Dave PA. Our theme is 2-for-1 Cocktails by Ramen Shackle. Hello everyone, Ioan here. I came to the party and there was no falafel and there was no pasta or noodles. I thought, okay, maybe they're too busy, so I just had a few drinks. And then, after a while, I had some tray bakes and they were nice. So I went in the kitchen and I started speaking to Geoff's wife about the falafel. And I said, what is going on? She said, he's got all this stuff from this guy. And she showed me the cupboard. There's a box in there from T Plus Pro Cook. And I said, well, what is this? And she said, there's a letter in there. And there's a letter in there. And it's from Richard Taint, who was on the podcast a long time ago, and Geoff chose him on his favourite episode.
And that's when I put it together that Richard paying him to advertise this stuff on our podcast. I went out and I said to Geoff, what the hell are you doing with this money? Or with this stuff? Or the falafel or whatever. And he said, listen, I'm sorry, I'm really sorry, I was supposed to tell you. And I said, you've ruined it. It's ruined. And then I left. Because I couldn't be there with that liar. And I was so angry that I kicked a rock. And now that hurts. And I don't know, I just got on a bus. And now I'm here. In a pub. And my train isn't coming for ages. So I think I'm going to wait here for a while with my gin. I'm sorry if you wanted to hear Ainsley Harriott this week, but I don't see how we can play that episode after this. Thanks, Dave. Bye-bye.
Welcome to the New Recommender, hosted by me, Geoff Roberts. And it is just me today, for reasons I'm sure you're aware of. But in the event that you've missed the news, I'm going to read a Press Association piece that's going to get everyone up to speed. Police have arrested a man on suspicion of arson in connection with the blaze that destroyed Starham Audio's podcast recording studio. Officers detained the man, who has not yet been named, on Saturday evening. Fire crews battled for hours to contain and then extinguish the blaze after the building erupted into flames at around 11 p.m. on Friday night. Police and fire investigators have been forensically examining the scene today, and a statement from the South Wales Police confirmed that the matter is being treated as suspicious. It reads, "We were called to the site at 11:30 p.m. on Friday the 1st of September to support the fire and rescue service. We have since worked with the fire investigators and are reviewing all available evidence in an effort to determine the cause of the incident." On Saturday afternoon, a spokesperson for Clowes, Carver & Co. on behalf of Starham Audio pledged to restore the site, saying the company were devastated about the fire, especially since the ongoing insolvency issues are due to be resolved in the coming weeks. The police encouraged anyone with information to come forward. Since that report, it has come out that Ioan was the man arrested, and at the time of recording, he remains in custody. I was his first port of call after the arrest was made, which, after last week, is not something I expected. And obviously, it's not a situation we want to be in. But personally speaking, I'm glad that Ioan felt I would be there for him in that moment. I then got in touch with John Haining, who immediately travelled down to represent Ioan in person. Needless to say, Ioan is maintaining his innocence, and I 100% believe him. I can't divulge too much, but I've been told that Ioan's beloved jacket was found at the site after the fire, and sadly, it was destroyed beyond all recognition, aside from a couple of John Rocha branded buttons and the remains of that yellow patch that we've heard so much about. For police, apparently, it's what they consider the smoking gun that links Ioan to the crime, but what it tells me is that he had nothing to do with it. Yes, he thought someone had taken the jacket from the studio, but if there was even a chance it was still there, Ioan would never risk harming one of his most cherished possessions in that way. Regarding last week, listen, I understand why Ioan was so angry. I understand why he said the things that he said. And I would like to take this opportunity to apologise to you, our listeners, for misleading you about the nature of my recommendations for the T Plus Pro Cook products. I do stand by my words and my choices, but I should have disclosed that I had been financially compensated for speaking about them on the podcast. I'm friends with Richard Taint, and he was helping me out in a period of financial uncertainty. But I have to accept that I made a huge error in judgment. I'm really disappointed in myself, and I'm sorry for any hurt that I've caused with my actions. Going forward, I'm going to use this as a learning opportunity, and I want to publicly pledge to do better. Regaining your trust and restoring the sanctity of the podcast is my number 2 priority right now. My number one priority, though, is Ioan's legal situation. I'm afraid that does mean that after today, the podcast will be on hiatus until the investigation is resolved one way or the other. Ainsley Harriott has been in touch to offer his support and says he will be our first guest when we come back, which Ioan said really lifted his spirits in these last few days. Before I go, I'd like to thank everyone who supported us over these past 12 weeks. I think it's fair to say that the reboot hasn't gone as smoothly as we'd hoped, but external factors have been the main reason for that. And we're all crossing our fingers that once the current issues are behind us, the new Recommender will find its feet and become the podcast that we all know it can be. I hope it won't be too long before we speak to you all again. But for now, I've been Geoff, and this has been the new Recommender.
The New Recommender is a high-quality content production, executive produced by Ioan Morris and Geoff Roberts. Sound editing by Dave PA. Our theme is 2 for 1 Cocktails by Ramen Shackle.